I'd just like to do a couple of quotations here which kind of relate directly to bioelectrode therapy and how it's evolved. Very famous physicist, friend of Einstein, Albert Einstein, he said this: "It's probably true that in general, the most fertile development in the history of human thought are born at the intersection of two currents of ideas. These currents may originate in the midst of totally different cultural conditions, in different epochs and places, but from the time that they effectively meet and maintain a relationship sufficient for real interaction to take place, one can hope for new and interesting developments to occur." And that's Werner Heisenberg. Now, how I see this relates to bioelectrode therapy, because bioelectrode therapy it's based on traditional Chinese medicine, but it also is based on Western concepts of electrophysiology or bioelectricity. Another very well-known, at least well-known in Europe, his name is Dr. Robert Pekar. He said this very simple statement which kind of sums up basically what bioelectrode therapy is all about. "Every biological process is also an electrical process, and health and sickness are related to the bioelectric currents of our body." Now, one of the major epidemics or crisis that's going on in the field of addictions right now is the opioid epidemic. And hundreds and thousands of people are dying every week, and from simply overdosing. They've developed an addiction to opioids, heroin, fentanyl, and related medications, methadone, and every time they use the quantity you're taking, it's a crapshoot. You can overdose very simply and easily. Many of my friends, many of my clients over the years are no longer, simply because they went out and they used and they overdosed. And so I've been very passionate in my attempts to develop new therapies to help people go through the process of detoxification and recovery. And with bioelectrode therapy, I'd just like to summarize some of the major points. Detoxification from opioids without withdrawal stress is possible. In fact, when you put the electrodes on the fingers and the hands, one almost immediately, and I have to say almost completely, eliminates the withdrawal stress. So you don't have to endure that almost impossible degree of prolonged pain, which causes people to relapse and go out and use. Nowadays, detox centers throughout America and Vancouver, they don't even allow clients the opportunity to detoxify because they don't believe that it's viable, it's too dangerous. People will relapse sooner or later and end up going to the street and overdosing and perhaps dying as a result. But it's my view that if people can actually experience detoxification without pain, without having to endure the muscle ache and the insomnia and the nausea, and it's a pretty painful experience. And not only is it painful, but it goes on for days and sometimes weeks and longer. Methadone withdrawal is, well, you're looking into several months of relative pain, and people just can't endure that kind of pain for that duration of time. But with bioelectrode therapy, as I see it, and from my experience, and I've had considerable experience in my 35 years working in detoxes, people don't have to endure and experience that pain. As soon as the electrodes are on, the pain has vanished. It's as fast as electricity works. You put the electrodes on, the electrodes create a microcurrent that streams through those energy pathways, affecting all the pathways, all the meridians of the body, and affecting the permeability of the cells, cleansing and clearing, detoxifying, increasing and improving the metabolism, balancing the electrolytes of the affected tissues as well. A wide range of complex pain issues can be addressed, most frequently the original cause of opioid dependence. So with strategic application of these electrodes, you can treat pretty much any pain in the body. A lot of people, well, that statement says it all. A lot of people get addicted to opiates or painkillers simply as a result of, originally from a pain issue. Could be back pain, it could be headaches, migraines, could be any problem. Now with a bioelectrode therapy, clients can be treated very easily on an outpatient basis. All you got to do is come in and get your bioelectrodes attached. Or you can do it at home. Somebody can come to your home and simply apply the electrodes, and you can be guaranteed or assured that you're going to have a relatively pain-free process of detoxification. There's no wait listing. As it is now, most detoxes are full. You might have a period of a week or sometimes longer just to get access to some professional help in a detox setting. With bioelectrode therapy, you can actually get immediate attention and immediate relief. So there is no wait list. Addiction professionals can easily learn and administer this treatment. Opioid-dependent individuals can often treat themselves, so they don't, all you have to do simply is look at an illustration and which fingers and which toes, which electrodes to go on which fingers and which toes, and simply apply them and you'll get the same equivalent results. So by relieving the pain of opiate withdrawal, we eliminate the excruciating experience that is the greatest fear of all opiate users. People continue to use because they're terrified of the pain of coming off those drugs. If you don't have to be afraid of the detox experience, that you can actually detoxify painlessly at home, perhaps more people will be inclined to seek further treatment in treatment centers and the like. So compared to the current extensive use of pharmaceuticals, the cost saving of this approach is significant. It's highly, well, let's put it this way, it's very cheap to get a little bit of the ink electrodes and apply those electrodes to the fingers and toes. Anybody can make up the copper and the silver electrodes simply with a hole punch and a little bit of sheet of aluminum foil, for example, or even you go to the metal supply store and get a sheet of a copper sheet. It doesn't have to be very big, but you just take a hole punch or even a paper hole punch and you can punch out your own electrodes. So this is a therapy that could be available to anybody in America or anybody in the third world. There's no expense to it, easy to learn. All you need is an illustrated diagram of where to put the points, the electrodes, and you too can detoxify from opiates. I think it will work on other drugs or other drugs like methamphetamine and cocaine and even alcohol withdrawal, but it's a little bit more complicated where to put the points, place the electrodes. So to me, this seems like a reasonable approach and cost-effective approach. And I think once that people, policymakers and physicians and addiction professionals become aware of it, I think they can learn it very simply, easily, and become certified practitioners. Thank you.